Hey everyone, this is Miguel, the Movie Encyclopedia here, signing on for a new movie review. After years of rumors, confirmations, and pre production news, the highly anticipated adaptation of the video game saga Mortal Kombat has finally arrived in theaters. Today I will be giving my thoughts on the biggest video game adaptation of the year. The movie follows MMA fighter Cole Young as he's recruited by Special Forces soldiers Jax and Sonya Blade to train with them for the mythical Mortal Kombat tournament, where they will have to fight people from other worlds with incredible powers in order to secure the safety of the Earth. Mortal Kombat focuses heavily on building the world of Mortal Kombat and the crazy yet badass characters that have made the franchise so enjoyable for nearly 30 years. Although this movie succeeds in that regard, its lack of emphasis on the tournament from which the entire franchise draws its name is a major letdown, and this movie serves as really nothing but exposition for future movies to come, which might leave non-Mortal Kombat fans very disappointed, at least until the next possible film. The characters are all pretty much two-dimensional superpower badasses that spend their time committing bloody murder and saying cheesy taglines, and that is honestly completely fine with me. That is exactly how these characters act in the video games, both new and old, so I never expected anything less from Mortal Kombat. However, the performances weren't always as good as they could have been. There were times when a character had to deliver an especially cheesy line of dialogue, and the performance came off very clunky and unrealistic, that it honestly just made me uncomfortable to see. Luckily, those moments are usually far and in between the shockingly accurate portrayal of these iconic characters, of which there is a lot. Everything from the costumes to the actors and even the character portrayals felt extremely accurate to the video game versions of these characters. So longtime fans will enjoy this aspect of the movie. I even enjoyed the only original character written specifically for this movie, Cole Young, played by Louis Tan, thanks to the epic powers the writers give him that helps him fit right in with the other fighters. The story is probably the most disappointing aspect of the movie for newcomers, as it focuses all its time on exposition without actually starting the Mortal Kombat tournament. Apparently, it looks like this movie is saving the actual tournament for future movies. This 2-hour build-up for a sequel that may or may not happen is an incredibly risky gamble that will either prove to be this movie's strength or downfall, depending if a sequel gets made by Warner Brothers. Time will definitely affect audiences' view of this film as Warner Brothers tries to build a franchise around it. However, the accurate character adaptations and fast-paced action keep the story from being a complete letdown for longtime fans. It just might not be as appealing for newcomers. Despite the lack of an actual Mortal Kombat tournament, this movie does an incredible job of bringing the bloody, violent, sadistic, and borderline masochistic action people from all over the world have come to associate with the Mortal Kombat franchise. I was pretty shocked by how well the choreographers and the visual effects artists were able to adapt this aspect of the games. I knew the fights were going to be bloody and gory, but I did not expect this movie to straight up rip fatalities from the actual games and reproduce them in a live action setting. It was a Mortal Kombat fan's dream come true, and the writers did not hold back. Action-wise, this movie is everything that fans can possibly ask for in a modern Mortal Kombat movie. This movie is also chock full of Easter eggs, references, and callbacks to Mortal Kombat history in almost every single scene. This is another aspect that will probably be more appealing to the fans than the newcomers watching this movie for the first time. The references also help flesh out this world, like the classic rivalry between Scorpion and SubZero. Although I wish the film could have given us more fights between the two titular characters, the story does build up the rivalry between the two ninjas very well, leading up to an epic final battle at the end of the movie. Hopefully we will get to see more of Sub-Zero and Scorpion in the second film, but next time, probably the writers should give a little more exposition on why they have such a heated rivalry. The movie explores the rivalry from Scorpion's perspective, but not really from Sub-Zero's, leaving the character feeling like a one-note villain, which is disappointing for such an iconic character. Maybe future movies will explore Sub-Zero's past and his history, But honestly, what the writers really need to focus is more fights between Scorpion and SubZero. The fights that we did get to see between those two characters were easily the best moments of the entire movie, and the film could definitely need 3 times as many of these kinds of fights. So in conclusion, Mortal Kombat is not the perfect live-action adaptation that fans have been waiting for, but it does have an incredible amount of bloody action, brutal fatalities, references, and Easter eggs to classic Mortal Kombat games that all build a strong foundation for a possibly epic franchise to be built off of. Time will only tell if Warner Brothers and the writers they hire will be up to this task. I'm going to give the Mortal Kombat movie a 7 out of 10 stars. This was a good film, even though it could have been great. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to follow this channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where I post updates about future videos and podcast episodes. Speaking of which, make sure to subscribe to the Movie Encyclopedia Podcast to hear me talk about movies, TV, and video game news. Until my next episode, thanks for watching and see you then.